What's up guys, UFC 281 is this weekend and we know what's taking place at Madison Square Garden. We all know that Madison Square Garden is one of the most iconic arenas in the entire world. So in this video, I'm going to break down my top 5 UFC moments that happened at Madison Square Garden. Kicking it off with number 5, Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal for the BMF. West Coast versus East Coast. Two veterans of the game. These guys have been doing it for so long, and it was only fitting to make a BMF title for them. It was a spectacle. All the celebrities were there. Donald Trump showed up to that fight. It was one of the most iconic moments at Madison Square Garden. Then we go to number 4, Rose Namajunas versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Going into the fight, Rose was a huge underdog. Nobody knew that she could defeat Joanna because Joanna was the boogeyman of the UFC. Everybody was scared of her. But Rose is a gangster, and she defeated Joanna Jędrzejczyk by knockout to become the title, which was one of the most iconic moments that has ever happened in the UFC. And number 3, Daniel Cormier versus Derrick Lewis. It gave Daniel Cormier the opportunity to fight for the heavyweight championship to become a double champ, and he went out and defeated Derrick Lewis to become the heavyweight champion of the world. Number 2, GSP versus Michael Bisping. GSP was coming off a 5-year layoff. He hasn't fought in the UFC for such a long time. He was going up against Michael Bisping, who was in his prime, who was fighting actively, and everybody, myself included, thought Michael Bisping was going to win because of the amount of time that GSP has spent outside of the octagon. But GSP proved everybody wrong, myself included, as he defeated Michael Bisping by submission to become the middleweight champion of the world. And we move into number 1 and my personal favorite, Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez. UFC was banned in New York for the longest time, and the New York Athletic Commission finally approved combat sports in New York City, and it was of course headlined by Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez. Conor McGregor was looking to make history to become the first ever double champ, and he defeated Eddie Alvarez to become the first double champ ever. He did it in spectacular fashion. He knocked out Eddie Alvarez. He knocked him down 3 times. He wasn't touched at all that fight. It is probably one of the greatest moments ever in Madison Square Garden. So that's it. Those are my top 5 moments at Madison Square Garden.